Ever wondered who the most pointless characters in comic books are? Like seriously, what were they thinking? We're talking about the heroes, or maybe zeros is more accurate, with powers so useless, they'd probably get laughed out of a supervillain's birthday party. Well, get ready to dive into the depths of comic book absurdity, because today we're counting down the top 5 most worthless comic book characters. We're talking powers that would make a wet paper bag look menacing. So buckle up, bros, because this is going to be a wild ride through the weirdest, most useless corners of the comic book universe. You won't believe some of these guys actually made it to print. First up, we've got a hero so useless. His name is basically his power and his biggest weakness combined: arm fall-off boy. This guy's claim to fame: he can detach his limbs. Yeah, you heard that right. He can make his arms fall off, on purpose. Now, I know what you're thinking, Pewds. There's got to be some strategic use for that, right? Like maybe he throws his arm as a distraction and it punches the villain in the face. Nope, not even close. This dude literally just detaches his limbs and kinda waves them around. I mean, imagine being the villain. You're about to rob a bank, feeling all evil and menacing, and suddenly this dude shuffles in, awkwardly pulls his arm off, and just kinda drops it on the floor. You'd probably die laughing before he even had a chance to use his superpower. It's like the creators were trying to come up with the least intimidating power imaginable and just went, good enough. But hey, at least he's got enthusiasm, I guess? I mean, you gotta admire his dedication to trying to make arm fall off boy a thing. It's just a shame his power is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Next up on our list of culinary crusaders is a hero with an appetite for destruction, literally. Meet Matter-Eater Lad, the guy who can eat anything, and I mean anything. Metal, no problem. Rocks like candy, your hopes and dreams gone in one gulp. Now you'd think a guy who can literally eat his way through any obstacle would be a force to be reckoned with, right? Well, think again. Because Matter-Eater Lad's superpower is about as useful as a chocolate teapot when it comes to actual superheroing. Imagine him facing off against like Lex Luthor. Lex fires up his giant death ray and Matter-Eater Lad just stands there munching on a piece of the ray. Like, dude, you can eat anything, and you choose to nibble on the giant laser beam. And don't even get me started on the digestive issues. I mean, have you ever tried eating a car? It's not pretty. I'm talking indigestion on an epic scale. Honestly, Matter-Eater Lad is less of a superhero and more of a human garbage disposal. He's the guy you call when you need someone to eat the evidence, not save the day. Hold on to your hats, bros, because this next hero is a real head-scratcher. You won't believe the kind of power this guy has. Meet Hindsight Lad, the guy with the amazing power to realize his mistakes. Yep, that's his superpower. Imagine having the ability to know exactly what you did wrong, but only after it's too late to do anything about it. He can tell you exactly what he should have done differently, after he's already messed everything up. It's like having a GPS that only tells you you missed your turn after you've driven 10 miles past it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pewds, that's not a superpower, that's just called being a human being. And you're absolutely right. We all have that power, it's called regret. We all have that power. It's called regret. And it's about as useful as a pair of swimming trunks in the Sahara Desert. Imagine trying to swim in a sea of sand. Yeah, not very effective. And it's about as useful as a pair of swimming trunks in the Sahara Desert. You might as well try to use a chocolate teapot. Imagine him showing up to fight a supervillain. The villain throws a punch. Hindsight Lad gets knocked out cold, and then he wakes up and goes, "Oh, I should have dodged left." No kidding, Sherlock. The villain throws a punch. Hindsight Lad gets knocked out cold, and then he wakes up and goes, "Oh, I should have dodged left." No kidding, Sherlock. A little late for that now, isn't it? A little late for that now, isn't it? It's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. Once it's out, it's out. Honestly, the only thing more useless than Hindsight Lad's power is his costume. Seriously, who designed that thing? It looks like a rejected Power Ranger went through a rainbow car wash. Seriously, who designed that thing? It looks like a rejected Power Ranger went through a rainbow car wash. It's like someone threw a bunch of colors at a wall and said, "Yeah, that'll do." It looks like a rejected Power Ranger went through a rainbow car wash. So, there you have it, folks. Hindsight Lad, the superhero who's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. So there you have it, folks. Hindsight Lad, the superhero who's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. But hey, at least he's got 20/20 hindsight, right? Hindsight Lad, the superhero who's about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. But hey, at least he's got 20/20 hindsight, right? Which is great, unless you're trying to, actually prevent a crime from happening. But hey, at least he's got 20/20 hindsight, right? Which is great, unless you're trying to, actually prevent a crime from happening. It's like having a fire extinguisher that only works after the fire is out, which is great unless you're trying to, actually prevent a crime from happening. Oh, and speaking of hindsight, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you might regret it later, just saying. Oh, and speaking of hindsight, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you might regret it later, just saying. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. Don't be a hindsight lad. Don't be a hindsight lad. Learn from your mistakes before they happen. Stay ahead of the game, and always be prepared. Get ready to have your mind blown, bros, because this next hero is a real, colorful character. I'm talking about Color Kid, the guy who can change the color of things. Yep, you heard that right. He can alter the hue of anything he touches. He can make your shirt turn blue in an instant, or your car turn green just like that. He can even make your grandma's hair turn purple if he's feeling particularly mischievous. Imagine the surprise at the next family gathering. Now, you might be thinking, Pewds, that's not a superpower, that's just called being a toddler with a box of crayons. And you'd be right, because Color Kid's power is about as useful as a screen door on a spaceship when it comes to fighting crime. Imagine him facing off against a supervillain. The villain charges at him, and Color Kid turns the villain's costume pink. Like, seriously? That's the best you got? A fashion faux pas? The villain would probably be more embarrassed than hurt. And don't even get me started on the practical applications. Like, what's he gonna do? Change the color of the villain's getaway car so it blends in with the traffic? Please. The cops would spot that in a heartbeat. Honestly, the only thing more useless than Color Kid's power is his name. Color Kid? Seriously. That's the best they could come up with. It's like they put Color and Kid into a random name generator and just went with the first thing that popped up. But hey, at least he's got a unique niche, right? I mean, how many superheroes can say they can change the color of anything? Not many, that's for sure. So, while he might not be the most powerful or the most useful, he's definitely one of the most unique. And in the world of superheroes, sometimes that's all you need to stand out. So here's to you, Color Kid, the most colorful hero in the comic book universe. And last but not least, we have the hero, who's a danger to everyone, including himself, Friendly Fire. This guy's power is basically shooting energy blasts that only hit his teammates. Yep, you heard that right. He's like a walking, talking, friendly fire incident waiting to happen. Imagine being his teammate. You're out there fighting bad guys, risking your life, and suddenly this dude shows up and blasts you in the back with an energy beam. And the worst part? He'd probably apologize profusely while doing it. Oh, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to hit you again. My bad. Honestly, Friendly Fire is a liability on any team. He's like that one friend you invite to a party who always ends up breaking something valuable. Except instead of breaking a lamp, he's breaking your bones. I mean, what's the point of having a superhero who can't hit the bad guys but can take out his entire team with a single blast? It's like trying to fight a fire with gasoline. It's just a recipe for disaster. So there you have it, folks. Friendly Fire. The superhero who's more dangerous to his friends than his enemies. He's the embodiment of the phrase, it's the thought that counts. Except in this case, the thought doesn't count for much when you're constantly getting blasted by your own teammate. Imagine the training sessions. His teammates must be on edge, constantly dodging his errant blasts. The frustration must be palpable. How do you train with someone who's more likely to hit you than the target? They probably have entire strategy meetings dedicated to minimizing the damage he causes. Maybe they even wear extra protective gear just because of him. And yet despite all this, they still keep him around. Why? Because deep down they know he means well. Friendly Fire might be a walking disaster, but he's their walking disaster. And who knows, maybe one day he'll learn to control his powers. Until then, they'll just have to keep dodging and hoping for the best. So next time you think your team has issues, just remember Friendly Fire and his well-meaning chaos. Because at the end of the day, it's the heart that counts, even if it comes with a few accidental blasts. And that's what makes a true hero, flaws and all. So there you have it, bros. The top 5 most useless comic book characters that make you wonder if the writers were high on kryptonite. We had Arm Fall Off Boy with his detachable limbs, Matter Eater Lad who eats everything in sight, except for common sense. Hindsight Lad, who's always a day late and $1 short. Color Kid, who's basically armed with a cosmic box of crayons. And Friendly Fire, the walking, talking accident waiting to happen. These heroes, and I use that term loosely, prove that not all superpowers are created equal. Some are just downright ridiculous. It's like the creators just threw a bunch of random words into a hat and pulled out the most absurd combinations they could find. Remember, not all heroes wear capes, some just make you wonder why they exist at all. Thanks for watching, bros. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hilarious content. And let me know in the comments below which useless superhero you'd add to this list.